Here we go. Sed priusquam. But prior to what I shall speak concerning his when he was the emperor, when he was ruling, I shall say, decam, a few things concerning his mores, his habits or character. Gordianus had been, when he was an adolescent, a young man, concerning whom this sermon is, or this writing is about. This guy, when he was a young man, he scripted poems. He wrote poems. He was a poet, which all of them extant. Again, with Historia Augusta, a lot of this is fictitious, probably. And indeed, all of it, which Cicero and Mario and Aratus right, he was about astronomy or something. Aliconus, with Latin you can usually drop the H off these, and something about wives and the Nile River. All these things which Cicero wrote, and apparently Gordianus did. Quae quidem ad hoc script. So he wrote to these even, indeed, the quae, the things which, as the poems of Cicero did, viderentur nimis antiquae, seemed excessively antique. So the poems of Cicero seemed excessively antique, so he wrote to these, maybe made them more modern. Praeterea. Besides, he scripted, he wrote, quam admatum, which means just as or how. Virgil did his Aeneid. Statius did his Achilleid thing about, I think it was a golden fleece or something, I don't know what it was. Don't really need this alloid there. And many have written about the Alexandrios. This is even this fella, and the Antonaids. This is Antonius Pius and Antonius Marcum. Okay, so these are the Antonidoses. These are two figures, making this plural, in very dissertimus verses, so very educated and eloquent, you might want to say, verses, in Triginta Libris, in 30 books. He wrote the lives of these, and the wars, and the public and private gesta, things done public and private. He was per scribens, he was writing. Per usually means it's a thorough account. Et haec quidem perulus, nice short sentence for 4. And these things were done indeed when he was a perulus, when he was a little boy. But afterwards, when he had adulted, when he had adolescerate, or whatever you want to call it, when he had grown older, he declamed ovided. This is where they usually do fictitious legal cases or whatever to learn skills. He declaimed the controversies in Atheneo. Don't know if that's got to do with Athens, but anyway, with the audience, even of his emperor was there. So it's plural. So even with emperors there in the audience listening. 5. His quaestorship, which is a place on the social ladder. He guested it. He conducted this magnificentissimus very magnificently. His time as an adult, he gave 12 to the Roman people, munera. These are gifts games, so performed 12 games for the Roman people. This is per each single month, so there's 12 months. He exhibited a single game for each month, DCO, from his own pocket, or something you might want to say, from his own expenses. It ut correlatives, thus as non numquam, which means sometimes he exhibited pairs quingena, so it's that 50 pairs of gladiators, never less than 150. Oh, it's 500, it must be. 500 pairs of gladiators, never less than 150. Okay, so where were we? Over here. Quingen. Supposed to have a T there normally here, I can bring that up. So with the T's, quingentai, quingentissim, and quingentissimum, that means 500, 500s, etc. The gena without the T obviously means the same sort of thing here. If you compare it with quingenus, which is only 50 basically. Anyway, Libyan feral beast, wild beast, in una day, in one day. Day is a female when it's an appointed day or the day you die. He exhibited 100 wild beasts and a mille, 1,000, una mille of Ursus, which are bears. Extant silver still stands or still exists. A forest of memorabilis of his, which was Pictus. So there's a painting of a forest scene, which is memorable, in the Domo Rostrata, in the House of Beaks or something, of Gnaeus Pompey. I wonder if he's that famous one. Which himself, I'm guessing this would be the guy we're talking about, and his father and his grandfather filled it, which they had. So this would belong to these people, the Gordians, which in the time of Philip, your Fiscus is a type of treasury or something, your Fisca invaded, so it looks like it was confiscated this house in the time of Philip, which is in the 240s, I believe. 7. In qua pictura, in which picture, etiam, even now, it contains 200 cervi. These are stags, mixed in with British stags. So the Palmato stags, their horns look like palms, and I guess British ones have different sort of horns. There are 30 feral horses, wild horses. Of wild sheep, there's 100. There's 10 elks, I believe that's elks. 100 Cyprican bulls, strutons, ostriches or something, Mauritian or something. 300 of these, Minatai Morai. They're red ostriches from Mauritania, okay. 30 donkeys, I think Onagagris are wild, I don't know if they're African or whatever, but they're wild ones. Apri, wild boars, there's 100 quinquina, 150 or so. Ibises, what the hell are these things? Chemois, so I don't even know what that is. There's 200 of them, and there's 200 female stags. So it starts off with male stags, and it ends up with the female stags, whatever the hell they're called. Okay, so these ibexes are a species of wild mountain goat with large, rigid, recurved, diverging horns. That's ibex, and in the plural it's ibeces. Yeah, okay, there we go. Now we know what those things are. Autem. Moreover, these he conceded to the people, all of them, for apprehending. They could take them, I guess they killed them, whatever, and ate them, on the day of the games, on the 6th game which he edibated, which he produced, or gave for the people. Chapter 4. He guessed it, acted out a praetorship, nobilam. I want to treat that adverbial in a very noble way or something. After he had power of giving the law, or he was a lawgiver or controlling the law, he entered into his first consulship with Antonius Caracola and his second consulship with Alexandrus or whatever. Okay, so this Alexander is what we call in English. Now, from the footnotes in the lab says, according to the evidence of coins, Gordian was consul only once, and not during the reigns of Caracola or Alexander, probably under Elagabulus. However you pronounce that name, I've got a denarius of his. Anyway, he had wedded 2 filioses. He had 2 children. When you have males and females and neuter mixed, the male always takes precedence. So Illum, this would be a male. One male was a consul, who with Augustus himself was a Pelaratus, so he shared the same name of Augustus, and who near Carthage in Africa was Absumptus in war. He was killed in war. And the other one was a Filiam. The other one of these children was a daughter, Maciam Faustina, who nupta ested, who married Junius Balbus or whatever, who was a consular man, who was a man who at some stage was a consul. In his consulships, he was clarior than the consuls of his time, so he was more brighter or sharper. In just such a way, then, Antonius envied him or begrudged him. Now, because of his praetextas, something to do with his robes, now the latus clavum, which is the outer strip on the robes, now the circuses. So these are all things he envied. He envied his togas, and anyway. Besides his imperatorium, mirans modum's just a split. You can put that in English as in some miraculous way or wonderful or something. So there's a lot of envying going on. So he had a palmatum tunica. We've seen stags with palms for antlers before. Now he's got a tunic with palms and a toga pictam. Is that the one with gold embroidered in it? He was the first private citizens of the Romans to have this type of toga. And we saw he's even gone before the imperial games with his own games. Now his clothing is more outstanding. Sua impropria means his own, so he had his own private tunics for his own, which in before times emperors either got them from the capital, they equiparented them, or from the palace. Okay, that's it for the day.